The cat headbutt. What exactly compels your feline to do this? It appears to be such a small, innocent motion, a soft collision of the forehead, a tender graze against your hand or cheek. However, what if I revealed that this charming little moment conceals one of the most profound and ancient methods of feline dialogue? Because when your cat firmly presses their brow against you, they aren't merely offering a greeting. They are communicating something far more significant, something primal. Welcome to Meowrange, our intimate podcast-style sanctuary where we uncover captivating facts, touching narratives, and unexpected revelations about our cherished cats. Here, we go beyond just talking about pets. We truly understand them. And if you have a passion for discovering the hidden depths of your furry friend's world, you have found the perfect home. Before we immerse ourselves in today's topic, I have a small request. If you genuinely adore your cat, if you have ever smiled at the feeling of that velvet head against your face without fully understanding why, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe. Do it not for the sake of the channel, nor for the algorithm, but because every interaction helps other cat enthusiasts across the globe uncover the beauty behind these small acts of devotion. And I promise you this, you will never view your cat's headbutts in quite the same light again. The hidden vocabulary of the head bump. Have you ever been resting peacefully, perhaps lost in a book or scrolling through your phone, when your cat suddenly approaches, locks eyes with you, and bumps their forehead directly into you? It mimics the sensation of a kiss, doesn't it? Yet, we know cats don't kiss in the human sense. So what is truly transpiring here? This endearing behavior is formally termed headbunting, and it stands as one of the most absolute indicators of trust a cat can display. Researchers and animal behaviorists are in consensus. When a cat softly pushes their head against yours, they are utilizing specific scent glands situated on their temples, cheeks, and chin. These glands secrete pheromones, which are organic chemical messages cats employ to converse with one another. By headbutting you, your cat is quite literally tagging you as safe. In the universe of the feline, scent is paramount. It is the method by which cats determine who is a member of their tribe and who is an outsider. When your cat rubs its skull against you, it is blending your personal scent with its own, synthesizing a communal family fragrance. To your cat, this specific aroma signifies home. That is correct. Your cat is declaring, "You belong to me. You are a fixture in my world." It isn't a matter of dominance or ownership in a negative sense. It is entirely about belonging. In households with multiple cats, you might observe them headbutting one another before settling down for a nap. That isn't merely random cuddliness. It is a treaty of peace, a formal proclamation of alliance. Now, consider this truly captivating fact. This conduct isn't exclusive to your domestic tabby. Their wild cousins engage in it as well. Lions on the African plains, for instance, welcome one another with headbutts when they regroup after a hunt. It serves as a moment of reassurance, a method of stating, "I recognize you. I rely on you." Cheetahs have been seen performing this too, particularly among male siblings from the same litter who establish lifelong partnerships. Therefore, when your cat offers you a headbutt, they are reenacting a ritual that is thousands of years old, a gesture inherited through countless generations of felines. It is more than just sweetness. It is instinct. And yet, there is something bordering on magical about how cats apply this instinct to us. Think about it. You are not a cat. You don't carry a feline scent. You don't move like them. And you certainly don't vocalize like them. Yet, somehow, your cat perceives you as a member of its inner sanctum. They have selected you. And that is not a decision cats make frivolously. Experts in feline psychology often note that cats are incredibly particular about forging social ties. Unlike dogs, who are naturally pack-centric, cats establish microsocial units, tiny, exclusive networks of trust. When a cat admits you into that network, it is a monumental endorsement of character. So when your cat headbutts you, they aren't just being precious. They are stating, "You are my friend. You are a sanctuary." Occasionally, they will perform this in moments that catch you off guard, such as when you are melancholic, exhausted, or weeping. Numerous cat guardians recount that their feline companions gently nudge them during episodes of high emotion, as though they can detect the distress. While we cannot say with absolute certainty that cats comprehend human complexity, we do know that their scent and touch-oriented communication is linked to soothing and reassurance. In that silent press of the head, your cat may well be offering a truce with your pain. However, not every headbutt carries identical meaning. Some cats might softly bump your shin and then wind their body around your calves. Others might deliver a single, brisk nudge and trot away. Every cat possesses a unique dialect within this silent tongue. A lingering, slow headbutt generally signifies deep affection and serenity. A rapid bump followed by vocalization might be your cat's method of saying, "Hey, focus on me." And if your cat headbutts inanimate things, furniture, door frames, even the edge of your tablet, they are performing the same function, depositing tiny scent flags that declare, "This is a component of my territory." The biology underpinning this is elegantly straightforward. Cats possess sebaceous glands that generate pheromones, chemicals that transport invisible data. When deposited through headbunting, these pheromones lower anxiety levels and fortify social connections. It acts like a biological antidepressant, both for your cat and, surprisingly, for you. This is because when your cat demonstrates love, your brain secretes oxytocin, the bonding hormone. It is the identical hormone that facilitates the bond between parents and infants. Thus, in that fleeting moment, with a furry head pressing against your cheek, both you and your cat undergo a synchronized burst of tranquility and connection. You see, cats are not the aloof or detached creatures people often mistake them for. They simply love in a different frequency. For them, devotion isn't boisterous. It is quiet, nuanced, and profoundly genuine. When your cat delivers a headbutt, it isn't asserting dominance, it isn't begging for kibble, and it is certainly not accidental. It is a voiceless "I love you." So the next time your cat approaches, gazes into your eyes, and knocks its head against you, do not pull away. Do not chuckle it off. Simply remain motionless for a second. Allow that minute gesture to remind you that in your cat's perception, where every smell and every graze holds significance, you are part of something hallowed. You have been chosen. Perhaps that is why cats captivate us so deeply. They are beings of quiet enigma. They don't scream their affection. They whisper it through small demonstrations of faith, a soft rumble, a slow blink, and yes, a tender headbutt. So, tell me, does your cat engage in this too? When was the last occasion they bumped their forehead against yours? Please let me know in the comments section below. I read through every single one, and I adore reading your anecdotes. Each story serves as a reminder of how exquisite and intimate these interactions truly are. Because, ultimately, every little nudge, every velvet touch, is a component of a language that predates spoken words. A language that states, "You are my safe harbor." And yet, there is something even more profound beneath it. Something that stretches all the way back to untamed origins. A secret that clarifies why your cat selected this specific gesture out of all possible movements to demonstrate love. Because behind that charming headbutt resides an ancient feline drive, one that links your cat to its wild forebearers in ways most people never suspect. Ancient origins, from wild instincts to domestic love. It is convenient to view your cat as a snug little homebody, a being that snoozes on your sofa, dines from a ceramic dish, and never requires the skills to hunt. But every soft rumble, every extension of limbs in a sunbeam, every headbutt still transports the DNA of something archaic. Because long before cats became the sovereigns of our living rooms, they were the silent stalkers of the wilderness. The feral roots of affection. To comprehend why your cat headbutts you in the modern day, we must journey thousands of years into history, to an era when the first wild felines commenced living in proximity to humans. Approximately 10,000 years ago, in the rich valleys of the Middle East, humanity began stockpiling grain. This grain lured mice, and the mice lured African wildcats, the direct progenitors of every domestic cat on the planet today. Unlike dogs, who were intentionally domesticated by people, cats initiated this partnership on their own terms. They drew near to human villages not for friendship, but for opportunity. Yet, something unforeseen occurred. The humans did not drive them away. Over the span of generations, the boldest and most placid wildcats lingered nearby, transmitting their temperament to their litters. Gradually, a mutual pact began to solidify. Humans offered shelter and a steady food supply, the pests, and cats provided pest control. And within that delicate armistice, affection was conceived. Wild cats were solitary predators. They did not depend on packs or rigid hierarchies like wolves. So, how did these autonomous beings learn to demonstrate affection and to place faith in a species so vastly different from themselves? That is where headbunting enters the narrative. Even in the wild, small clusters of cats, specifically mothers and their kittens, utilized scent marking and gentle head nudges to convey safety and kinship. This transfer of scent wasn't arbitrary. It was a potent form of identification. It stated, "You carry my scent. You are part of my reality." Fast forward to your lounge, and your cat is replicating that identical ritual with you. Every time they mash their forehead against your hand, they are performing what wild cats did with their kin, validating that the bond remains intact. The science of scent and trust in the society of felines, vision and hearing play supporting roles. Scent is the protagonist. The wild ancestors of our pets lived by their olfactory senses. They charted territories, identified family members, and detected threats through smell. Their scent glands located on the forehead, cheeks, and chin evolved as their primary instruments for emotional dialogue. When your cat rubs their head upon you, they deposit facial pheromones, organic compounds that transmit signals of peace and familiarity. This behavior is scientifically termed allorubbing, and it is vital in feline social structures. Cats that trust one another will allorub to mingle their scents, essentially forging a communal identity. So when your cat headbutts you, it isn't merely affection. It is chemistry, an invisible contract of trust inscribed in scent molecules. And here is something even more compelling. Those identical pheromones are now utilized in synthetic calming aids for cats, such as the widely used diffusers. These products mimic the pheromones cats naturally create during headbutting, assisting anxious cats in feeling secure. That implies the comfort your cat experiences when headbutting you is so scientifically quantifiable that we can reproduce it in a laboratory. That is the potency of this primal instinct. From the savanna to the sofa. When early domesticated cats started cohabitating with people, they didn't discard their instincts. They adapted them. The identical gestures utilized between a mother cat and her kitten were redirected toward their human providers. To your cat, you aren't a distinct species. You are simply a colossal, somewhat clumsy member of their social circle, one who doesn't always grasp the etiquette. Behavioral studies indicate that cats do not alter their communication style when interacting with humans. They employ the same signals, slow blinking, rubbing, tail positioning, and yes, headbutting, that they utilize with fellow cats. This is why experts describe cats as viewing us as equals, not superiors. In their gaze, we are fellow cats, just oddly proportioned ones. It is humbling, is it not? That your cat doesn't view you as a master, or even as a parent, but as a companion, a partner in a quiet, ancient alliance that has endured for millennia. The emotional heritage of wild love. When you picture wild cats, you might visualize stoic, lonely hunters. But the reality is more layered. Even wild felines cultivate emotional ties, particularly between mothers and offspring or between mates during breeding seasons. They share territory, swap scents, and provide physical comfort, all behaviors mirrored in our pets today. A 2021 study on feline social attachment observed that domestic cats, much like their wild forebears, develop secure attachments with their humans, analogous to how infants bond with parents. In experiments, cats became visibly distressed when isolated from their owners and relaxed once more upon reunion. And can you guess what many of them did immediately? They headbutted. That singular gesture has traversed 10,000 years of evolution, from survival to sentiment, from marking boundaries to expressing devotion. It is a symbol of how far cats have journeyed and how deeply they have decided to trust us. The beauty of choice here is a crucial point to retain. Cats never forfeited their autonomy. Every display of fondness, every rumble, every headbutt is a decision. Unlike dogs, who often crave validation, cats determine when and how to dispense affection. That renders it even more significant. When your cat approaches and bumps its head against you, that instant isn't automatic. It is deliberate. It is their method of stating, "I could maintain my distance, but I will not. I select you." That is what makes feline love so potent. It is never coerced. It is freely granted in soft touches and hushed moments that feel almost sacred. If you have ever felt your cat's head rest softly against yours, you have touched something timeless. That small act is a living fossil of feline history, a ritual that commenced in deserts and forests, passed through temples and cottages until it reached you. And perhaps that is why so many ancient civilizations revered cats. From Egyptian deities like Batet to sailors who trusted cats to bring fortune on voyages, humanity has always sensed something exceptional in them, something both feral and sagacious. Because cats never completely left the wild behind, they carried a fragment of it into our hearts. So the next time your cat presses their forehead against you, recall this. It isn't just your cat being adorable. It is the reverberation of a wild instinct, an ancient gesture that once aided cats in survival, now transmuted into an emblem of trust and love. Every headbutt carries a history. Every scent mark is a missive from a past older than civilization itself, and every time your cat chooses to share that with you, it is evidence that even the most independent spirits can learn to love. Because behind that gentle bump lies something you might never have conceived. Not just instinct, not just chemistry, but emotion. Real, deep, and beautifully feline. And to genuinely grasp what your cat feels in those seconds, we must take a look inside their mind. Inside the cat's mind, what they feel when they headbutt you. What if you could step inside your cat's consciousness for just a few seconds? What if you could experience what they experience when that tiny forehead pushes against your skin? Because somewhere within that simple gesture lies an entire universe of emotion, one that most people fail to observe. The silent heartbeat of connection. When your cat headbutts you, it might appear to be a minor act of fondness, but in their mind, it is something much more profound. It is a moment of total reliance. In that instant, your cat feels secure enough to drop its guards, to be vulnerable. Remember, cats are simultaneously predators and prey. Even in the security of your house, their instincts remain razor-sharp. They rarely expose their faces or necks unless they trust without reservation. So when your cat leans in, shuts their eyes, and softly nudges you, that is the feline parallel to a warm embrace. But this isn't solely emotion. It is biology. When your cat makes contact with you, their body floods with endorphins and oxytocin, the same feel-good chemicals found in humans when we hug or hold a loved one. These hormones generate a sensation of serenity, joy, and attachment. Yes, your cat is experiencing love in their own quiet, feline manner, and science supports this. Studies from universities and animal behaviorists globally indicate that cats form secure attachments to their humans. They feel comfort when near us and stress when we are absent, the same emotional bonding patterns found in children and their caregivers. So that little bump, it isn't just touch. It is emotional transmission, the language of the body. If you could interpret your cat's body language in that split second, it would reveal everything. The softened gaze, the slow blink, the untense whiskers, the tail gently hooking upward. Each tiny fluctuation says, "I trust you. I am content here." Headbutting isn't random. It is often part of a ceremony. Your cat might approach you, hoist their tail in a soft question mark, establish eye contact, and then nudge your face or hand. This sequence mirrors how cats greet one another. It is a choreography of friendship. Some cats will purr softly during the act. Others will emit a faint trill, that soft rolling noise halfway between a meow and a chirp. It is their method of reinforcing the tie, like saying, "Hey, I acknowledge you, and I enjoy being with you." Behavioral experts characterize this as a trust exchange. It is a two-way interaction. When you gently stroke their head afterward or whisper a reply, you are completing the ritual. That is why your tone is significant. A calm, loving voice validates that trust. And though your cat may not comprehend your vocabulary, they absolutely grasp your tone. So next time your cat does it, respond softly, whisper their name, offer a slow blink. That is how you reply in their tongue, sensing the world through touch and scent. For cats, tactile sensation and smell are deeply interwoven. When they headbutt you, they aren't just feeling your skin. They are reading it. They detect subtle odors from your clothing, your hair, even the soap you utilize. Every scent narrates a story, where you have been, what you have handled, how familiar you are. Your cat memorizes these specifics, constructing an emotional scent map of you. Over time, that map becomes the aroma of safety. That is why cats often headbutt their owners after you have been absent, perhaps at work, on a journey, or just out for the afternoon. They aren't only welcoming you, they are reestablishing that scent link, reassuring themselves that you still belong together. It is their way of stating, I missed you. You still smell like home. In multi-cat homes, this ritual also maintains the peace. Cats that share scent marks through headbutting are less prone to conflict because they perceive each other as kin. The same applies to you. When your cat includes you in their scent exchange, it is literally a peace offering, a declaration of unity. Emotional awareness. Do cats sense our feelings? Now here is where it becomes truly captivating. Many cat owners vow that their pets can sense their emotions, drawing closer when they are melancholic, lying beside them during sickness, or offering headbutts at the precise moment they are needed most. And research implies there is truth to that. Cats can read facial expressions, vocal tones, and body posture surprisingly well. They note when your breathing shifts, when your movements decelerate, when your energy changes. A 2020 study in Animal Cognition discovered that cats respond distinctively to happy versus angry human faces, approaching more frequently when they detect positive emotions. Combine that with their sensitivity to scent, which changes with stress hormones, and you get an animal that not only sees your mood but feels it. So when your cat headbutts you while you are down, it may not be a coincidence. It could be empathy expressed through instinct. In those moments, they aren't trying to fix you or demand attention. They are simply connecting. It is their way of saying, I am here. You are not solitary. The power of gentle communication. Human love can be noisy. Words, grand gestures, loud declarations. But feline love is quiet. It is felt more than it is spoken. A headbutt is the cat's version of whispering, I trust you completely. No drama, no stipulations, just quiet presence. And perhaps that is what makes it so moving. Because love, from a creature that owes you nothing, that chooses to express it anyway, is pure magic. Some people believe cats are indifferent, but that is because they aren't looking closely enough. They don't see how your cat waits by the door, or blinks slowly across the room, or touches you gently with their head before curling up to sleep. But you see it. You feel it. That is why this bond feels spiritual, because it is built on silence and trust. You aren't forcing love. You are earning it, one soft nudge at a time. The memory of touch. Here is something beautiful most people are unaware of. Cats retain memories of affectionate interactions. Each positive touch, every gentle pet, every calm voice, every headbutt strengthens the emotional memory your cat holds of you. That is why consistency is key. When you greet your cat with kindness, when you respect their boundaries, you construct a foundation that grows sturdier over time. Eventually, that foundation becomes love. And in your cat's mind, love equates to comfort. It equates to safety. It equates to you. So the next time your cat leans in close, forehead to forehead, pause for a moment. Forget your phone, your chores, your anxieties. Let that tiny moment sink in. Because that isn't just your cat being affectionate. That is your cat feeling connected. They are sharing their world with you in the only way they know how, through touch, scent, and emotion. When their forehead meets your skin, it is a quiet conversation between two souls. And though no words are uttered, the message is lucid. You make me feel safe. You make me feel loved. But sometimes that same gesture hides a secret, a tiny message your cat is attempting to convey to you, one that most people completely miss. The hidden messages behind every headbutt. Sometimes love speaks the loudest in silence, a quiet nudge, a soft bump, a moment you could easily overlook. But you shouldn't, because that tiny gesture, your cat's headbutt, carries a language of its own. And if you learn to listen, it can tell you more about your cat than words ever could. Every headbutt has a meaning. At first glance, every headbutt might appear identical, but to your cat, each one possesses its own narrative. Sometimes it is affection, sometimes reassurance, and other times it is a message, subtle, emotional, and personal. When your cat greets you at the door with a headbutt, it is saying, I missed you. I am glad you are home. It is a method of reuniting, of merging sense again after being apart. In feline communication, that simple act resets the emotional connection, confirming that the bond is still strong. When they headbutt you and then close their eyes, it isn't just relaxation. It is ultimate trust. Closing their eyes during contact means they feel completely safe with you. In the wild, That would be unthinkable. No animal lowers their guard like that unless they are surrounded by family. If your cat does a quick head bump followed by rubbing or meowing, that is a summons for attention. They are saying, "Notice me, I am here." Maybe they want affection, maybe playtime, or maybe they are just checking in because you are part of their emotional routine. Yes, cats have those too. You are part of their day as much as they are part of yours. And when they rub their face along you right after the headbutt, that is them marking you again, refreshing the invisible scent bond. It is love, but it is also ritual. Cats adore familiarity. By marking you, they keep their world predictable and peaceful. You become a constant in their ever-changing environment. Reading the context, when, where, and how. Understanding a cat's headbutt is all about context. Where they do it, when they do it, and how they do it can reveal what they are truly feeling. If your cat headbutts you in the morning while purring, it is likely a greeting. They are re-establishing contact after a night apart. If they do it before mealtime, it could be a gentle reminder. Hey, remember the food? But notice, it is never demanding. It is affectionate persuasion. If they headbutt and then lie beside you, it is comfort. They aren't asking for anything. They are simply expressing closeness. Cats rarely waste energy on meaningless gestures. Every movement has a purpose. And if your cat gently headbutts an object, your pillow, a blanket, even the corner of your laptop, it might mean that item carries your scent. They are strengthening the emotional territory that includes both you and everything you touch. To your cat, that isn't clutter. It is a shared world. Each headbutt is a sentence in an ancient language, one your cat has been perfecting for thousands of years. And you are part of that conversation, whether you realize it or not. When headbutts mean something else. Of course, cats are complex beings. Sometimes, what looks like a loving gesture can also carry other meanings. Not negative, just different. For example, if your cat suddenly starts headbutting excessively, especially with force, it might be seeking more attention or stimulation. Cats who feel lonely or bored often amplify behaviors that have earned them affection before. In those cases, more playtime, gentle brushing, or quiet companionship can help. Rarely, a cat may press its head hard and continuously against surfaces. That is not a headbutt. It is called head pressing, and it can signal a medical issue like pain or disorientation. But don't worry, true affectionate headbutts are gentle, brief, and emotionally warm. They never seem confused or strained. If your cat's bump feels like love, that is exactly what it is. The personality behind the gesture. Every cat has its own communication style. Some are open and expressive. They will headbutt, purr, and flop onto your lap like it is second nature. Others are shy, subtle, or cautious, showing affection in smaller, quieter ways. Don't compare your cat to others. If yours isn't a headbutter, that doesn't mean they don't love you. Some cats express affection through slow blinks, tail twitches, or gentle purrs near your side. The key is learning their personal language. But if your cat does headbutt you often, consider it one of the highest honors in the feline world. You have earned their trust, their love, their scent. In their mind, you belong together. The emotional core, trust, familiarity, and love. Everything about the headbutt comes down to three emotions: trust, familiarity, and love. Trust, because cats only expose their faces to those they feel completely safe with. Familiarity, because scent bonding creates comfort and emotional security. And love, because even though cats don't think like humans, the feelings they associate with that gesture are warm, calming, and joyful. That is what makes the feline-human bond so extraordinary. It is two species meeting in the middle, understanding each other through instinct rather than words. Your cat doesn't need to speak. They have found a better way, a touch that says everything, turning a moment into a bond. When your cat gives you a headbutt, you have a choice. You can smile and move on, or you can respond. Lean in slightly, whisper softly, offer a slow blink or a gentle stroke on their forehead. You aren't just petting them, you are speaking their language. Over time, this creates a loop of emotional reinforcement. The more you respond with calm affection, the more your cat feels understood, and the more often they will seek you out to repeat the gesture. It is a small ritual, but it strengthens a lifelong bond. That is the beauty of living with cats. They don't demand love. They share it in moments so quiet you could almost miss them. A purr, a blink, a gentle bump. And somehow those small acts end up meaning everything. The poetry of silence. In a world full of noise, cats remind us that connection doesn't always need sound. Sometimes it just needs presence. When your cat presses its head against you, it is saying, right now, in this moment, everything is okay. It is gratitude. It is trust. It is peace. And if you listen closely, maybe it is also a reflection, a lesson from a creature that has mastered the art of living slowly and loving quietly. They don't rush. They don't overthink. They just are. Maybe that is why cats feel so healing to be around. Because they remind us that love doesn't have to be loud to be real. A whisper that lasts. So tonight, when your cat comes close and gives you that gentle nudge, pause for a second. Close your eyes. Let your forehead rest against theirs. You will feel it. That quiet pulse of connection that words can't describe. It isn't just a greeting. It isn't just affection. It is the oldest love story on earth, written in scent, touch, and trust. The love between human and cat, fragile, ancient, and unspoken. And as you sit there, maybe you will realize something. They aren't just showing love. They are reminding you how to love. Thank you for spending this moment with us here at Meowrange, our cozy corner for curious cat lovers. If this story warmed your heart or helped you understand your feline friend a little better, please subscribe, leave a like, and share your story in the comments. I read every single one. And remember, the next time your cat gives you a little headbutt, don't just see it as affection. See it for what it truly is, a quiet promise that says, "You are my home."